Live with studios in Midland and Odessa, you're watching CBS7 First Alert News at 9 on the CW West
Ultimately,
Texas.
it just kind of gives some confirmation to the family of making that right decision by choosing life. Even though they're going to lose their loved one, they were able to live on through somebody else.
Last year, 10 medical center hospital patients gave the gift of life through 25 organ donations. Today, a memorial service was held to honor those donors and their families. We take a look at the service in just a few minutes here on CBS 7 News at 9. Thanks for joining us for CBS 7 News on the CW, and thanks to those of you joining us live from our CBS 7 YouTube channel. I'm Lauren Munt, and we start tonight tracking crime. 3 15-year-olds have been arrested. Yesterday morning around 2:42 a.m., OPD responded to a car theft in progress. An investigation revealed that 3 15-year-olds had burglarized a Jeep Cherokee and fled in a gray Audi. Officers found the Audi and conducted a traffic stop. All 3 of the teens have been charged with engaging in organized criminal activity. Continuing coverage now, Midland Animal Services and Fix West Texas are working together to reduce animal intake after a distemper outbreak earlier this year. With the help of Fix West Texas's Finder to Foster program, animals brought in can avoid euthanization, get caught up on their vaccinations, and be spayed or neutered if they're not already. Distemper can spread with something as simple as a cough, so the goal is to keep as many animals out of the shelter as possible.
People show up at the shelter with a dog that they have found, or if they can no longer keep their dog, they are willing to find fosters to help keep the dogs out of the shelter so they are not exposed.
Midland Animal Services is also in the process of expanding their facility and hiring another veterinarian to help. In the community now this week, the city of Odessa held a meeting and brought in an expert to talk about the use of the hotel occupancy taxes, or hot funds. There's been many questions about hot funds and whether or not they're being used legally in the past. Specifically back in March, when the city council voted to stop funding the nonprofit Downtown Odessa Incorporated using hot funds. Odessa city leaders stressed that they want those funds used properly from now on. Groups that use hot funds must prove people stayed the night in a hotel as a result of their event, piece of art, or whatever they've used the money for.
Sometimes you're not far away, but you're still coming for a 2 or 3 day event. Sometimes you can make a day traffic into an overnight experience. So it's basically promoting hotel activity through heads and beds. It may be hotel activity by having a banquet at a hotel and maybe having a food and beverage contract with a hotel.
The director of Discover Odessa says getting the information is crucial to make sure the money is being used correctly and legally.
If for some reason hotel motel tax is not what's supposed to fund someone's event, that's okay. Let's find it somewhere else, but let's just be clear so that everyone's on a level, clean playing field.
Mart says that Discover Odessa's job is to promote the city to tourists, so this is something the employees there are very aware of. And today, the Midland Chamber of Commerce hosted their annual State of Midland Luncheon at the Busch Convention Center. At the meeting, Mayor Lori Blong unveiled a new way that city leaders plan to make decisions for Midland.
One of the main priorities of our council and for myself as mayor is that we would have a strategic plan to guide our decision making over the next few years. So we went through a process in the fall to establish that strategic plan. We developed 6 different goals, and we're filtering all of our decision making through those 6 goals.
3 of those goals include more jobs, community cleanliness, and improving quality of life in Midland. For a full list of those goals, you can go to our website, cbs7.com. And at the State of Midland, Mayor Blong also discussed the Midland Police Department's efforts to clear out the Vaughn building in downtown Midland. According to MPD, they were receiving calls about people unlawfully entering and the building becoming a hotspot for crimes. The building will be sealed to prevent people from entering it in the future.
A strong initiative that we've had in the last few months is really to take some of these dilapidated buildings and make sure those are secured so that there is no criminal activity taking place in those areas, but also so that we can ensure that these are safe for the children and youth of our community.
This is part of an ongoing effort to keep people out of dangerous and dilapidated buildings. We're going to take a pause now and talk your weather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Tom Teefer-Teller. Tom, it's almost Friday. What is the weekend going to look for us?
Well, we are going to see a little more wind back in our forecast today. A little bit of a break. Max wind gusts were below 30 miles an hour. I call that a wind in the West Texas book. Across the area, we saw those winds a little gusty this afternoon, but nothing like they were. And temperatures again warming up because it was a south wind. Upper 70s to low 80s commonplace across the Permian Basin, and all the way up to 80 there in and around Big Spring. Presidio, one of the hot spots, 86 degrees this afternoon. Taking a look at our live eye cam in Andrews, a quiet evening right now. Temperatures at 67 degrees. So the lower 70s to upper 60s out there, very comfortable across West Texas and southeast of Mexico, as we don't have a lot of wind to deal with, but you can see it's come around to the southeast across the area. So again, that is going to keep temperatures a little bit warmer overnight tonight, only the mid to lower 50s on the way, as we'll see another dose of wind in our forecast for tomorrow. Weekend, not looking all that bad, just warmer. We'll talk about it here in a couple of minutes.
Thank you, Tom. Tomorrow night, one Midland man will be celebrating his 63rd birthday by running 63 miles, and he's donating to the Special Olympics. Since he turned 59, Naporn or Popcorn Leonard has run his age in miles to give back to the community, raising around $10,000 in 2021. He was diagnosed with lymphoma, and though he's still battling the disease, it's not stopping him from running.
I think it's going to help out with the donation. It's going to help out with the kid. I know Special Olympics, they have to send kid, and the cost is so enormous. And I'm hoping this will help out them a lot. I think the kid's going to be awesome, and this is going to be my first time with the Special Olympics, helping them out. So I don't know, but I'm hoping it will turn out good.
So far, Popcorn has raised around $3,000 for the athletes, and he's hoping to raise even more. If you'd like to donate, you can find a QR code. It's on our CBS7 First Alert News app. To recognize National Donate Life Month, families of organ donors, living donors, and recipients all gathered for a memorial service at Medical Center Hospital this morning. Last year, the gift of life was given through 25 organ donations from 10 MCH patients. MCH doesn't get to see the recipient side of organ donations, so staff can attend in order to acknowledge the positive impact of a somber situation. And families, donors, and recipients all get to share their personal experiences.
Ultimately, it just kind of gives some confirmation to the family of making that right decision by choosing life. Even though they're going to lose their loved one, they were able to live on through somebody else.
The event is held at the MCH Memorial Gardens, which gains a new type of flower for each year that a donor memorial is held. And UTBB is now offering comprehensive cardiovascular testing to their athletes in order to protect them before they compete. With an increase in student athletes experiencing cardiac arrest across the country, UTBB made the decision to purchase a new cardiovascular machine in order to help make sure that their student athletes are healthy, and the machines check the heart, veins, arteries, and more.
But now we're aware of an issue. It's like if someone had diabetes. If we're aware that they have diabetes, I can take care of them better. The prevention methods are better, and that's really what this is about, prevention.
The cardiovascular testing is free of charge for UTBB students who don't have insurance. Let's talk some local sports now, where the Odessa College softball team has taken over the top spot in the conference. With 12 games to go, here's how catcher Neve Adams and head coach Doug Eastman feel about the pressure.
I think just sticking together as a team, not worrying about what anyone else is doing, just keep playing our game because we know we can do it. So yeah, just sticking with ourselves, keep doing what we're doing and not changing anything. And definitely being humble, trying not to let it get to our heads, and don't take any team lightly. Every team is as good as like everyone else. So yeah, just being confident and playing our game.
I don't see it as pressure. I see it as a privilege. We're in first place for a reason. We're playing good softball right now, and You know, we don't look at it as 12 games. I mentioned it was 12 games, but as players and coaches, we take one game at a time. The big thing is to keep our two pitchers that have been carrying us along the way healthy.
The Wranglers have a 4-game series against Howard College, starting with a doubleheader tomorrow in Big Spring and then another doubleheader in Odessa on Saturday. And it's that time of the year again. Students across Texas are preparing for the State of Texas Assessment of Academic Readiness, or STAR testing. And as someone who's taken the STAR test, I know how intimidating they can be, whether it's writing, reading, or the test that personally stressed me out the most, math. There's a few things that you can do to better prepare your child for the standardized testing. ECISD Superintendent Dr. Scott Murray says before a big test like the STAR, it's important to get a good night's sleep, eat a healthy breakfast, and encourage your child.
This is a wonderful opportunity for our students to demonstrate all that they have learned during their school career.
Most STAR tests are about 4 hours long, which is a really long time to sit in the classroom before lunch. So eating a healthy breakfast is crucial. Luckily, school districts in Texas are prepared for this.
We provide breakfast for all students in ECISD, so parents just make sure your child is at school in time to eat breakfast, give them plenty of time to have a healthy breakfast.
One of the biggest things that you can do before the STAR is be your child's biggest cheerleader. But you won't be the only one supporting them. Teachers and faculty are right there with you.
We've done a lot over the last week to make sure kids feel motivated and encouraged to do their very best. And parents, certainly, you can help us at home by encouraging your child to do the same.
For all the students out there taking the STAR test, take a deep breath. You've got this, and we here at CBS7 are also cheering you on. And still ahead, are illegal border crossings slowing down? We'll tell you about what Texas officials have to say up next in your News Across Texas. In some news across Texas, illegal border crossings have been a hot topic in the town of Eagle Pass, and officials say that the crossings have dramatically cooled down. State leaders say it's proof their controversial efforts to secure the border are working. Immigrant advocates see it differently. Ken Molestina reports from Shelby Park.
From the ground and from the air, Eagle Pass's Shelby Park, the center of the illegal immigration debate recently, seems considerably more quiet than it's been in some time. Texas Department of Public Safety officials say in the last 2 years, they'd average anywhere between 2,000 to 3,000 illegal border crossings in this area daily. Now it's down to about 5.
You're saying, give us our park back. These numbers are down. We want the park back. Yes.
America Garcia Graywall is with the Eagle Pass Border Coalition, who's calling for the heavy military and police presence at Shelby Park to go away.
Do you think you'll get it back anytime soon?
We've seen a lot of problems go away, and so our expectation is that Governor Abbott is going to run out of money, he's going to run out of political oomph, because people will see through his political theater, and they're going to say, hey, $13 billion, billion with a B. We have things that we care about more than we care about hating on asylum seekers. And we think they're going to yank the rug out from under Governor Abbott, and they're going to say, give these poor people their park back.
In a statement, a Texas DPS spokesman addressed the drop in illegal crossings here, saying, "We attribute the decrease in illegal entries at Shelby Park and Eagle Pass to the presence of Texas DPS and National Guard. It's a much safer location because of the fact that we've been there and providing barriers and consequences to those who cross illegally. In fact, we saw those consequences for ourselves back in January when illegal border crossers were arrested for trespassing into Shelby Park." Immigrants advocates like Garcia Graywall refute the state's claim, saying the drop is due to increased enforcement efforts on the Mexican side of the river.
They're being stopped by Mexico before they get to the north. And then every step of the way, it's making it harder and harder to get up here.
While some debate the reason, the numbers reflect a more than 90% plunge in migrants trying to cross here. The looming concern now for people in this border town is whether Texas' controversial law, SB 4, which allows the state to arrest and deport migrants for crossing illegally, will win the ongoing appeals in court and become enforceable.
It is a political show. They're doing it for votes.
Today, during a subcommittee meeting, Congressman Tony Gonzalez questioned FBI Director Christopher Wray on the recent increase in oil-related thefts, saying that West Texas sheriffs are concerned. The FBI director responded, saying the current FBI task force has in part, quote, not only state and local law enforcement participation, but we've also have, which is a bit innovative, cleared oil field security personnel. Typically, they're former law enforcement as well on the task force, end quote. For more information on the hearing, you can go to our website, CBS7.com.
Well, back home in West Texas, we are looking at, again, some warmer weather out there, and that's going to be the trend into your weekend. Make those outdoor plans. We'll talk about it coming up next.
Now, from the CBS7 First Alert Weather Center, here's Chief Meteorologist Tom Tiefertiller.
Well, let's take a look at the weather makers this evening and show you that we're kind of in between storm systems at the present time. Looking at again, one storm system moving along the east coast caused a little rain at the Masters, a little bit of delay there. As you can see, most of the showers, thunder showers now into the Carolinas associated with it. Back behind in West Texas, again, we're dealing with this ridge of high pressure, and that's going to keep things relatively nice, even though we'll have a couple of disturbances move up and over that could cause a little bit in the way of a gusty wind, but it looks like the real wind's going to hold off until this next storm system here across the Pacific Northwest starts to move in. That's going to happen early part of next week, so that wind cranking back up, it looks like coming up on Monday as we see the next front start to roll in. Crystal clear across the state of Texas. Maybe a high cloud or two down around the Big Bend is all I've seen on the satellite and radar view this afternoon, so we might see a few of those stream across West Texas overnight tonight as temperatures again across the state, showing you this right now that everybody's really enjoying some comfortable conditions this evening across the area. A little milder along the Rio Grande, Del Rio at 80 degrees, but everybody else wrapping up a really nice day. Now take a look at those futurecast winds. They're going to stay up a little bit. Could be a little gusty down here around the Fort Stockton area, and then we'll see that wind come back in a big way. These are sustained winds around 30 miles an hour. Gusts could be up above 35 miles an hour for tomorrow afternoon, but that's going to bring in some milder air, so things are going to warm up a little bit across the area. And keeping that wind around all the way through the evening hours. Looks like just a little bit of a break coming up this weekend before we see another big dose of wind into next week. So rest of tonight, not quite as chilly as it has been, but still looking at some lower 50s out there to the upper 40s. A little bit further west there around Pecos and the Marfa area. Then for tomorrow, really warming up all the way up to 90 in Pecos and Presidio tomorrow afternoon with some breeze in our forecast. Again, we'll keep some breeze around this weekend as temperatures really warm up. So we're looking great for everything outdoors. A big bout of wind next week, that next front. That's going to cool temperatures slightly, but overall a warm weather pattern looks to be on the way.
Still ahead, the price of gas continues to rise. We talk about what this means for West Texans up next in your oil and gas news here at 9. West Texans are continuing to feel the pain at the pump as gas prices rise throughout the region. According to a report from AAA, Midlanders can expect to pay around $3.33 a gallon. That's a 6-cent increase from last week. Meanwhile, Odessa drivers are paying around $3.29. The lowest average is in Amarillo, where people are paying around $3.04. And the highest price in the state, Fort Worth, where the average price for a gallon of gas is $3.38. The average price across the country currently stands at $3.63 a gallon. The state average is $3.22, and that's actually 4 cents less compared to this time last year. And still ahead, congratulations are in order for 95-year-old West Texan. We'll introduce you to her. That's next. All right, it's never too late to follow your dreams. The 95-year-old West Texan is proof of that. This is Miss Margie Ward, and according to our partners at KBS Media, she just earned her GED through Howard College. Congratulations, Miss Ward, on your graduation on behalf of all of us here at CBS7. Tom, now this is pretty impressive.
Yes,
to graduate with a GED at 95 years old.
That is something else. I'll tell you what an accomplishment to do that at such a late stage in her life. But I guess she wanted to do it and gets that sense of completion.
Yes, she does. That's great. Congratulations, Miss Ward. We're all super excited for you here at CBS7.
Yes, congratulations. Okay, well, we'll talk a little weather now. We are going to be looking at, again, a little bit of breeze hanging around in the forecast for tomorrow. A break this weekend. We'll see those readings down into, I should say, up into the low 90s coming up by Sunday. So time to maybe dip our toes in the pool.
I think so. I think I might have to go take a swim.
Good stuff.
Thanks for joining us for CBS 7 News at 9 on the CW. We've got more news coming up tonight at 10.